towards the end, the last month and a half of what I served, so at 7 months, I started to put weight back on. And I was so cold, I was going into the hair salon that we had in the prison, taking the hair dryer and like blowing it up my nightgown and down my nightgown at night because I was so freezing cold. And that's a huge thyroid sign of that there's something wrong. So it started then. That's why I know had I fulfilled the year and a day, I would have died. So then I was out for 1 week in a halfway house for 1 week, and I got a pain in the back of my neck. And I thought it was just a headache or muscles, and I was getting a sinus headache. So that's when I went to the first doctor on April 3rd. April 1st was Easter Sunday, and I wasn't feeling well. April 3rd, I went to an urgent care. April 4th, I went to a dentist. My jaw was completely numb. April 5th, I went back to the dentist, or back to the urgent care. She said, I'd never seen blood results like this before. I think you're in a thyroid storm. So then the 4th, I did nothing. The 5th, they admitted me into the hospital. I stayed there the 6th, the 7th. They let me go in more pain than I went in with at 9 o'clock at night alone. Discharged from a hospital in an Uber back to the halfway house. The 11th, I went to another doctor, and he gave me shakes to drink, and I couldn't lift them. I couldn't carry the bag. It hurt so bad, my arms. And then on Friday the 13th, I went to the 7th doctor, and he sent me across the street to Cedars in Marina Del Rey, California, to Cedars to get an MRI that was like put under for an MRI. And they put me under, and they put me in the machine, and my arms and legs were flailing about uncontrollably. And then they pulled me out and admitted me. That was Friday night, late. By Sunday, I was paralyzed from the neck down.
That's terrifying. What did that feel like?
I was so out of it and so drugged up. They gave me every steroid they could to keep me alive. My blood pressure was 23/17 when they took me in to emergency surgery. And I'd never heard this before. I had surgery on my knee, outpatient, before. That was it. So I would never spend a night in the hospital until this whole thing happened, until I was 52 years old. Never. I never had children. I never, nothing. I slept in a hospital next to my mom and dad when they were dying, but nothing for me. So it was all very bizarre, and I was so out of it. And I had one friend, Nikki, who sat next to me in that hospital bed day in and day out. And the doctor kind of didn't show up for 2 days after he sent me for that MRI. If he would have gone with me, I think maybe things could have been different. But I was paralyzed from the neck down, so there was nothing anyone could do at that point. They did emergency surgery, and it was black tar wrapped around my spinal cord, choking it. And it was Burkitt lymphoma, a very rare form of cancer, and it's fatal. And that was it. And I woke up, and I did 10 rounds of chemo after that very invasive chemo, where you're in hospital for 5 days, intravenous chemo, and then the 6th day you have a spinal tap where they take out the spinal cord fluid and put in the chemo. And then the 7th day you have a lumbar injection, which goes up your spinal cord around your brain, and 10 times.
You did that 10 times.
10 times. And then you do that for 7 days. And then on the 8th day, you're taken to rehabilitation center, and you're there for 23 days.
Who was there for you through all of that? Were there any friends?
Not
or
one of the moms. Not one of the kids that you spend every day with for years, And that's the thing about the kids and the show is when we weren't filming, those kids were still with me. They were with me traveling or going to Australia or going to Paris to the Eiffel Tower. They were still with me, or they were with me in rehearsal for other numbers in our studio. So my friend Nikki was there for me. She was with me. My friend Diana, Gianna, who's, my dance choreographer on the show. So, yeah, those people were there. People from home, friends, family. Some of my former students, alumni, that don't dance professionally, that are moms and have other jobs, they flew out like at a moment's notice. A friend, Mary Stoluto, her daughter is this logo, actually.
Oh, really?
Wow.
She flew out with the minute she heard something was wrong.
What did that teach you about life and friendship, just knowing who was there to support you in that time? I mean, I'm sure there must have been...
Yeah.
It must have been
everybody
so
uses everybody, I guess. I don't know. It was, I don't know if I was really thinking about that because I was so in and out of it. I would wake up every couple hours and say, oh, well, thank God it's not cancer. And then I'd fall back asleep, and Nikki was like, we've told her 10 times that it's cancer, and she just keeps saying, thank God it's not cancer.